What's going on, guys? Just smashed an iced coffee from Starbucks. That was my pre-workout for this session. We're going to hit some chest, some shoulders, and a little bit of triceps in there as well. Let's get into it. I fully understand that sometimes just watching other people lift weights might not be the most exciting of videos, so I just figured I'd pop by, I'd add a little bit of commentary to these clips, just so that you've got something to listen to while you watch me make some gains. So what we are doing here is hitting a seated shoulder press. Now this is the second chest, shoulders, triceps session of the week. You see there, I've got it all mapped out, all in my phone, programmed and ready to go. Now this is one of the reasons I always recommend a warm-up. So go and pop yourself on the treadmill 5 minutes or so, just so that you can formulate a plan in your mind, so that you know when you go over to the weight section exactly what you're doing. Because there's nothing worse than when you just walking around aimlessly, not knowing what exercise you're going to do next. It means that you can really focus on targeting your muscles in the right order, really hitting them from different angles and really recruiting as many different muscle fibers throughout your workout as you can. So this is the second chest, shoulders and tricep session, as I've just said. So I started off here with the seated shoulder press. I hit 4 sets of 10 on this one. So on the first session of the week, I actually started off with a chest exercise, so that's why I've started off with a shoulders exercise on the second one of the week. So we hit 4 sets of 10 on the shoulder press here. Now I did actually receive a shoulder injury probably 2 months ago now, so I've been in a caloric deficit anyway, which is a slight issue when it comes to strength, and then obviously having an injury did mean that I couldn't train shoulders. I think I was actually out of action in terms of shoulders for about 6 weeks. It was only 2 weeks ago that I've actually started bringing it back. So I did suffer and struggle a little bit when I first started back. I was getting a lot of pain sort of in my front left delt. So that's the front part of the shoulder, and I did actually suffer on chest as well, because obviously when you are benching and stuff, you are incorporating a lot of front delts there, as you do see on this video. So I don't actually get a flat bench or a lifting platform or anything at my gym. So what we have to do is we have to put a squat rack together. Luke there set it up for me, and I was just saying, mate, this is it's a little bit off right there. He wasn't too happy with the criticism, but there we go. We take all criticism on the chin and move on. So as I was saying, I did actually have a shoulder injury which prevented me training shoulders for about 6 weeks. Then when I got back into it, I had to just lift really, really light. So I started back with my shoulder press on sort of like 14s and just doing as many reps as I could, but then just obviously backing off when it started to hurt a little bit, because it is always best just to still get some movement into the muscles. So I was still doing sort of my shoulder warm-ups, but then not actually continuing with the full session. So that was just making sure that I was able to recover as best as possible. But like I say, I was in a caloric deficit throughout that time as well, which is always a bit of an issue when it comes to losing your strength. So I have noticed, well, I say I've noticed, I am fully aware that my traps are not the strongest point of my body. So what I'm trying to do nowadays is really target my weaker areas. So I've said in other videos before, I've got my traps, I've got my upper chest, and I've also got my my bicep peak on the left hand side as well. So I'm really focusing on that. I've sort of tailored my training program around those areas, which is why you've seen the upright row there, just so that I can incorporate a little bit of traps nice and early on in the workout while I'm still feeling strong. Hitting an incline bench press here, just adding a little bit of a twist at the top. Now this is a movement that I've only recently sort of picked up and started to incorporate. It does just mean that you're getting a lot of focus on the mind-muscle connection and really bringing those pecs together when you're at the top. So you've just really got to focus on the squeeze as you bring those dumbbells up, and then I do just superset these with a press up, just to make sure that I'm really packing some volume into that chest and into those pecs. So I do go on holiday in, I'm not even sure how long it is right now at this point of the commentary. It is 8 days till I go away. Obviously I'm not sure when this video will be up, because this is a workout that I actually recorded last week, but then obviously I'm lazy with editing and getting round to actually doing a commentary, because commentaries are actually harder than what you think, or at least what I think, or how I seem to remember. Because obviously I've been around on YouTube quite some time. I used to do a lot of Call of Duty commentaries, I used to do a lot of gameplay commentaries, and I always needed to sort of retake them once, maybe twice, but then overall I didn't really suffer. This one, the other day, I was having an absolute nightmare, an absolute melt came into my head, and I just could not get to grips with the whole finishing the commentary. You see me just here pushing Luke through the rest of his sets. Luke actually started out being one of my clients that when I first joined the gym, he sort of hired me to take him through some workouts and whatnot, and it got to the point where we were talking every day, like giving and sharing advice and workouts and whatnot, and we just became really close friends. So we still train together now, even though he's still technically not a client, which is good. It does just show what the gym can do and can bring people closer together, and just sort of does aid that when you've both got a similar goal set. So Luke really wanted to push himself. He's getting married next year. He's got a holiday in a few weeks, and he's done really well, and he's dropped a lot of weight. He's dropped, I think it's like 16 pounds in the past 10 weeks, which is absolutely incredible. So he was just doing this workout with me, basically just standing and following through it. But obviously it's still good just to be able to push each other a little bit. So when I start lagging, when I'm getting closer to the end of my reps and stuff, he's always just there just to say, come on Alex, you can push that, you can get that. And that's why I'm there for him as well. It just works in turn. See him just having a cheeky little pose in the mirror there, not realising the camera was on. I think I actually cut it out before I show the fact that he realised the camera was on, and he looked a bit sheepish and ran off. So finishing things off here with some tricep push downs. Just really want to focus on keeping your elbows still, keeping them back, keeping them in position. Sort of imagine that you've got a steel bar all the way through, holding them on the same axis, and then just really flexing from that tricep, pushing all the way down, full extension at the top, controlling it back up. And then we hit one more tricep movement just to finish off the workout. This is the end of the workout here. We've got an overhead rope extension, just full extension again, keeping your elbows as still as possible. And I think I got the weight a little bit wrong here, because what I do like to do is flare the rope out, and then after sort of 6 reps or so I got a major pump in my triceps and I was just unable to do so. But what you got to do is just keep pushing on and get to the end of that set. So this is actually the end of the workout. That was every single exercise we did in that workout. And there you have it, guys. A little bit of a commentary over the top. That's the end of the workout then. Chest, shoulders and tries all smashed off. Remember to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat and on Twitter, all down below in the description. Comment on what you want to see next time. I'm off to hit some cardio. See you later.